Good evening, everyone. This is Jason Lewis, the producer of the From the Shadows podcast. Tonight, we will continue our interview with the Ghost Sisters. Sit back, relax, grab yourself some snacks, and enjoy the rest of this interview. And oh yeah, by the way, try not to be too scared.
She would never ask questions because she did not want to throw out there something because she didn't know what was going to answer back, because you're opening yourself up. What she would do is she would just open herself up and listen to what was being told to her, but she would not specifically ask questions because if we're talking about possible evil spirits, demonic forces, things like that, they could masquerade themselves as anybody
For sure.
and let themselves in.
I could try that.
And that's how she interprets things. That I'm not going to ask questions because I'm not going to.
Yeah, because hearing her talk, she realized at an early age that the bad was just as could come through just as easily, and
I'm sure
and
it
there was
has.
no way to discern which was.
Well, it's the
good or
old
bad.
it's the old adage about be careful playing with a Ouija board.
Yeah, and that's
Because
what
you think
spiritual
maybe I'm
writing
talking
kind of
to
is.
my great aunt, and in reality, that's not my great aunt. It's
Right.
just
Could be
somebody,
anyone.
something.
Masquerading.
Yes.
Yeah, she stresses that heavily.
Yeah, we don't mess with the Ouija boards, but it's kind of like
When you do the spiritual writing, it's kind of like that. If you think about it, you're moving, something's using your energy to move. So when I do the spiritual writing, I'm using a pencil or marker, whatever I have, and I'm connecting, and I'm just getting whatever energy's coming through me, and I'm writing out names. I get numbers and just little bits and pieces.
So it's not like full sentences. It's more.
I don't
Yeah.
let it, because if I do, it'll drag out forever. So I do 10 minutes of the spiritual writing. I try to keep it short. A name, if it's a male, female, or a child, or, the
How old
year,
you are.
how old you are, what happened to you. It could be little things like that, because it can just...
I have a question. When you do that, it seems to me like you become the portal itself.
Yeah.
Do you have a piece of your psyche that you stand there as a referendum so that you can cut it off when you have to, or are you completely at the will of whatever's being channeled through you?
That's a good question. Honestly, I don't really shut it down. I keep it all open because we're investigating. Soon, we go in, set stuff up, and then I get right into the spiritual writing. I don't shut it down. I continue
Okay.
until we're done investigating, and then I'm kind of saying to myself, my little prayer thing.
but you already know what it's going to write before it starts
Yeah. Oh,
writing.
yeah. A lot of times I don't even need to
She
let
just
them
needs
finish.
the first letter. She's like, I got it.
Yeah, because I already know what I'm getting, what I'm receiving.
Because
But-
it's channeling through
Yeah,
you.
but for the viewers, because we record it live, I like for them to see, a little bit of what I'm getting.
So you're opening a door.
Yes.
You're letting the floodgates come in.
Yeah.
And do you have the control to just shut that door whenever you want?
Yes, I can. I can completely shut myself down. I mean, it's not really hard. Not for me anyway. For someone who's new trying something like that,
It could be
probably
dangerous.
would.
And that's
So
why
So I
Yeah,
think
right.
the message is out there, and there may be people listening out
Yes.
there who has your abilities,
Mhm.
and probably not wise for them to just go off experimenting on their own. That they need to get in contact with somebody like you or someone who understands this, because if they don't have the ability to shut the door
Right.
and they open that door up, maybe they let bad things in and they
it's like a
can't.
Pandora's box.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah. No.
And I think kids, especially young kids, are very susceptible, and that was with Dr. Foster. When Dr. Foster was a kid,
Yeah,
that's
kids.
how she was. She was just letting everything in.
Yeah.
So let's get back to your evolution as the Ghost Sisters. So you've decided on a really cool name,
Okay. Yeah.
some really cool
Cool shirts with
cool
the hot
shirts,
pink on it.
the hot pink.
Which Don came up with. Let's do black with hot pink. I was like, yeah, that'd be awesome.
It pops.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then what? Do you guys start? Because you just can't keep going to the prison. Do you guys kind of put it out there and say, hey, if you to your friends and family and say, hey, if you guys know of a haunted
I
place,
think
we
our
can go
second
check-"
investigation was the train tracks in Caledonia, Ohio.
Yeah. Yep.
where we've known where there was a couple train accidents
Okay.
that, and we actually got really good stuff there.
Oh yeah, we did.
And all we had was our little geophone and SB7 box and a recorder.
Yep. And our phones and
One time, me and her and my other sister and another lady went around graveyards and doing stuff in Kenton. We did that.
Well, that's kind of like fishing with dynamite.
Right. They started going to bigger places and that you have to kind of pay admission to get into as a group.
Yeah.
our first. Okay, so our first place that we actually went to was the Randolph Asylum in Indiana, and that was Dawn and Chastity, me, and Dawn's like, I want to bring my husband Brian. He's a skeptic. I want to bring him. So I'm like, okay, we try to get a lot of people because it's like
Is
500.
Brian here today?
Yes.
Boy, you're a sucker.
Say hi, sucker.
Yeah.
I drug my husband into it too because he's a
Her
skeptic.
husband's very skeptic. And now he's not no more, which is odd.
But we needed to get a lot of people. The more people we get, and the cheaper it is for us to go. So we ended up getting a bunch of people, and we went and we had caught some amazing EVPs. I mean, classic A EVPs, and that's where you can actually hear them talking, and it's clear.
And there was no spirit box, no
No
intercom
nothing.
box, no nothing. It was, they spoke right into the recorder.
And is it the typical EVP where you didn't hear it when it was?
Yes. It was her and I in the
In the
one
cell.
room.
You didn't
We
hear
were
it
in
until
the cell.
afterwards, till after you
Yeah.
went back and reviewed it. Okay.
So it was that night that made him be more open to it.
We had a freezer door shut, and
Yes.
he knew nobody was down there.
We experienced some stuff, and Brian, that's when he became more of a, there is something going on here. So, and I knew that he was very good with the technical part of things, and I'm like, well, let's have him be our tech guy, So it kind of just went from there, and we just started building.
He doesn't look very excited still to this day to be the.
That's just Brian.
So it went from there. He got very intrigued with it, and so anyway, and, I created the page on Facebook, and we just started inviting people, going live, and then we needed more people. So Meg came along back in, when was it? Like April or May?
Back in the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually were looking for more females, and
Now, see, my sister was part of the team,
Yeah.
yeah, we actually did have her sister at one time with us.
but sadly she had to step out. So
Yes. So then we started looking for more females, and then we ended up finding Meg. So she was just a fill-in.
Yeah.
And then, she started really, putting herself out there, and coming to all of our meetings and going on the investigations. She was always down. So then we decided we'd make her full. So.
Did you have to go through an initiation phase?
Well,
she went in head first.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tell about your experience.
My first investigation was at the what was it, Blackford County Jail.
Blackford County,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very first investigation. I'm like,
Indiana.
I'm gonna be so brave. I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, nope. But I had a guy follow. I don't know. I think he was the prison or the sheriff. Or
The
what's it,
sheriff.
warden or something like
I think he was the sheriff.
Sheriff. I think he was following me the whole night because we had just started.
Because you look very suspicious, and since
yes,
he was in law enforcement.
indeed. And he was like, "Who's this chick coming in? I don't like her." But very first thing we started the what was your app that you used on your phone?
My Spiritus.
Spiritus. Something said Meg right away, and I was like, what did I get myself into?
Is that some of the app that
I don't know.
Mark
if it's
was using.
the Screaming Mimi
the
Bridge.
Screaming Mimi Bridge?
I don't know.
Like
think so.
I don't completely 100% trust them, but being my first time ever, and I'm like, this thing just said my name.
That's gotta freak you out.
Yeah, it was freaky, and I got so my teeth were chattering, cold. And this place had heat, and I'm like, and I felt like someone was hugging me, and throughout the night I could smell body odor following me, until I got upstairs in the attic with you.
Oh, I didn't like that attic.
Why do I automatically think of Jerry?
Jerry, were you?
Jerry.
Was it
No,
you?
not me.
He was mad they turned down his application to join the.
Well, he basically what he's
Did it have
figured
the
out
right
is
parts?
all descriptions of
He says
Bigfoot
that
is
he can
very
do a
smelly,
mean
so he's
tuck.
trying to.
He can past it.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I
So
have
let me
a
ask you
fondness
this.
for drag queens, so. You're in luck.
So let me ask you this. So now you've branched out and you're hitting these, what would be famous, notoriously
Oh, yeah.
famous
We're hitting all the
hot
spots around Ohio.
So let's talk about Crawford County, because
Yeah. I mean, that's how I became aware of you guys. And so
The
so
one
like
house.
yeah. So like when did you guys start going and helping people who I mean
yeah, private people's homes.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's a big difference between going to a prison or an asylum and doing a ghost hunt versus, hey, this person is struggling with this and maybe we could come in and we can use our talents to help them
so
out.
when did you guys kind of transition into that and how
People
many
contact
It was
us.
like immediately. I think we were going to houses that we knew first. It's like, okay, let's go see if you have any activity going on. Her house, we've hit a couple times.
Yeah. We had some stuff going on in my house.
Yeah.
So you guys are just kind of like practicing on your own houses.
Correct.
Yeah.
and
I've never
stuff.
done my house.
My
I don't
neighbor's
mind doing my
house. Actually, we went to my neighbor's house and investigated his place. I did a couple times, and she went with me one time.
And the one night the arm was shook.
But that's when it all started.
Yeah.
People started seeing that we were going to houses, and we started getting messages. Hey, I have this going on. Could be interested in coming and checking it out? So I think it's been about a year now, right? Year and a half, something
Maybe a year
like
and a
that.
half.
And we did the movie theater in Marion. We did the courthouse in Marion. We've done a lot of places. In
We got
Marion.
some good stuff at our courthouse.
Yeah.
Really?
We did that twice.
But again, with the houses and stuff, we've been getting hit a lot with people wanting us to come and investigate. They think they got something evil. We're able
Which
to
is
go debunk
rarely
it.
ever
you know.
evil.
So just give me a ballpark. How many private residences have you gone at the bequest of somebody else to
30?
30?
Yeah.
Okay, so how many of those 30 then did you walk out going, there's absolutely nothing here, or there is something, or I mean, what's the percent?
We've always caught stuff.
I would say there was a couple.
There was one in Marion that I went to. I was like, oh man, you guys, this is nothing. They're like, it was. We'll talk about it off the air. Or
We-
like, there's nothing here.
We've most of the time we're able to get at least an EVP or stuff going on with our equipment, and then we're able to debunk things.
And that brings up an important point. And this is a delicate topic, but there are people who suffer from mental health. And they have different psychoses where they hear voices and they see things. Or even people who have Parkinson's disease
Absolutely.
will see images and stuff like that. How do you differentiate between someone who may be suffering from a mental health situation versus someone who's really experiencing a paranormal event?
I think it's just using the evidence that you collect.
Well,
'cause-
we before we actually take on a case, we will set something up, what we call a sweep. We'll go, we'll talk to the people, see what's going on, and I'll bring my SLS camera, I'll bring the geophone and the REM pod recorder, and we will do a sweep of the home just to see if we can get anything, see what's going on. And then we talk about it and decide if we're going to take on the case. That's how we
Gotcha.
do it.
Now there was a house here in Bucyrus. We went and did the sweep, and we actually came up with answers before
Yeah.
we didn't even investigate it because we had answers during the sweep.
Like what sort of answers?
Like you debunked-
The
like you
previous,
debunked
right?
the
The
That was in
previous owners.
Bucyrus too. Yeah, it was here.
The previous owners, she was a Christian, he was an atheist, and it was his mother and son. And her crosses were being flipped and stuff, so we're going to come check this out. We'll help you out.
So is the son doing it?
Deceased son, yeah.
Oh, it's the
Deceased son.
deceased son. That's the part you left out.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was the
And the mother had passed away also, and this
so
was
there
a
was still
renter.
like a raging war
Now, I gotta be honest,
against
that
each
takes
other.
us down an entirely different rabbit hole, probably for a different day, is that if you had someone who in their life was an atheist, and now they've passed away, and now they're
faced with the reality.
but they're manipulating Christian symbols.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh, he was doing all kinds of stuff. He was taking scissors and moving them all over the house, and he messing with.
We
them.
actually got something on the intercom box that said "Get out."
Oh yeah.
so did you get out?
No, that was with the recorder. Just
Well,
the recorder.
we had the intercom box going in that center room.
I always ask
The
them to say
technician in the
something.
back is 9. Do you want to chime in on this?
That's actually the truth. We were standing in the little foyer, and we actually heard it with our ears. get out. So I turned around and said, did you hear that? Because I'm booking.
I'm taking the advice. I'm with you. I'm out.
And she ended up hearing it too. And then we played back the recorder, and it was on the recorder too. Get out.
So do you ever get this sense, like when you go into a situation like that, where there's something there that's hostile that wants you out, that they could physically harm you?
You've been scratched.
I mean,
before.
think
I've
about
been
this
scratched.
way. I mean, think about it this way. What makes our hearts pump blood? Electricity.
Yeah.
That's why when you go in and you have an EKG, people hear, well, I had an EKG done on my heart. That is an electric cardiogram or whatever it is. All it's doing is measuring the electrical impulses of your heart. So if there is this energy that it does not want you there, I would be fearful. And this is what kind of scares me, is that just to even be in touch with that could screw up the electrical circuitry of my body and stop my heart and kill me. Maybe not
All
instantly.
right, well, let's
but-
go then on that note. Oh.
But I mean, I guess I'm throwing out there
That
things
makes
that
sense. They say a lot of people who have those heart monitors in,
pacemakers.
yeah, the pacemakers, they have experiences, and they have stopped. Their pacemakers have. So that
And
makes
that doesn't
sense.
concern you guys at all. See, this is the
Scare
checklist.
them? Are you
I
trying to
try
scare
not
them
to.
out
I
of
mean,
it?
look,
They
so
live off your fears.
Gosh,
so
we have
you don't
never
wanna
thought
go
of any
shut
of
The
this.
those
more
places
fear we
down.
Let's
have
just go
going
back
in,
to
we're gonna
crocheting
get
and-
more activity, actually.
so my checklist of doing something like this is, Jerry, Jason, you got your stuff packed. Tell me how it went.
Yeah. tell how-
Tell me how it went. Because these are the things that, I like to think I'm a bit of a cerebral person, and I say to myself, what's everything that could go wrong here? What could go wrong?
Cerebral person is just a masking scaredy cat. Okay.
Well-
At least I admit I'm too scared to go.
Well, I will say one of our really good experiences we had was at the school we just investigated. What was that school?
Middle Point.
Middle Point School. What part of Ohio was that? Do you
Middle
remember?
Point.
Is
It's
Middle-
up north, wasn't it? More north.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So
I saw my first black figure. I've never, with my own eyes, actually seen it, and it's like, oh my gosh, did I just see
what's the
this?
story behind this Middle Point School? Is it like a place where everybody can go investigate? Or
Yeah,
is it
yeah,
something-
they
okay.
do private investigate. We set it up, a private investigation. And so when we first arrived there and we get in, like right away, I was affected. Like the whole time I was in there, I couldn't barely breathe. And when I went live to do our walkthrough with the interview, everyone's like, "Why is she breathing like that?" And I'm like, I couldn't catch my breath throughout the whole school. You could just hear me. I'm like, and I'm in good shape. I work out. There was no reason for me just barely walking through this whole place. I'm so short of breath. And the whole time I could just feel there was a lot of energy in that place. So when I ended up doing the spiritual writing, which he had the Jacob's
Brian.
Ladder going, Brian, our tech guy, had the Jacob's Ladder that
And
he
for our
built.
listeners, what is the Jacob's Ladder?
Go on and tell him, Brian.
It's a box that conducts, it's got a positive and a negative.
Okay, like a battery.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And it's got I made two copper wires that come off of the positive and the negative. Bring them around, I bend them up, and what it does is it shoots a current. And it just arcs back and forth all the way up, and it just keeps exploding into the air. It just
Creates
keeps
the
filling.
Energy.
A little
like
mini
you
Tesla
wouldn't
Now
believe.
is this your
We,
brainchild?
It's what I built.
but we first seen this when we went to the that one
The
jail.
Blackford County
The
Jail.
Blackford County Jail. The guy had one going, and we were like, "What is
Oh,
that?" And he's like, "Oh, this is the
He's like, I
Jacob's
can
Ladder."
make it.
And he had all these electricity things going, and he was building up the energy. So he was like, I'm gonna build this one day," and he did.
I see why you brought him on as the tech guy.
Yeah, yeah.
He's created a combustible device that could maybe burn the whole place.
This is how. That's kind of like the main thing of Ghostbusters,
Right.
Well, we actually, we took
They're gonna come in.
What's in the
You don't
basement?
have a permit for this. Trust me.
Where's Walter Peck?
Well, he sets it upstairs into the an area called the dark room, and he's got all this going, and it's been up there probably running for about 30 minutes, and I decided to go up there and do the spiritual writing in a room right by there, the library, and so I get up there. My niece is recording me, and I had so much coming through me. I don't even know how many spirits came through, but the first one that came through, this little girl, she tried to warn me. She said, "Stop." I'm like, okay. I've never had spirit say stop. So, but I didn't. I thought she was just didn't want to communicate with me. But I kept going and going. Well, as soon as I was done, I go downstairs and I kept feeling this overwhelmingness. I can't even describe it to you guys. I've never had this happen. I mean, I've had spirit make me cry when I'm doing readings, but not during the spiritual writing. I get downstairs and I get into the area where we had our camera set up. And I just start crying and just talking about the children being in this fire. And I am hysterically crying. They're like, "Get her out of here." And they had to walk me out of the school. And I get out there and he's coming out there. He's like, "What's going on?" And I said, "I don't know." I couldn't stop crying. I was so embarrassed. I've never had that happen. The guy who was there giving us the tour said he's had that happen to him there. So he's like, don't be, ashamed of this. This happens.
Several mediums.
A lot of
experienced
mediums,
it.
females.
So,
have had it
so is
happen.
that the backstory about the school, that there was a fire and some children perished? Or
I
something?
got names. He said I was right on. The names that came through, he said, she's right.
I guess this town had a lot of murders.
Yes, the
And
land.
the land around it is where they have found some bodies. Isn't that what Mike was telling us?
There was
Well,
a lot of different
supposedly on the
things.
schoolyard, there is a body that is buried that they cannot find.
So the whole place is just haunted, and the school.
And you guys
alone.
chose to go there.
Yes.
We paid to go there.
Yeah.
I was
And-
not there.
But we
That
were
one.
there, and so we're outside, and I look up into this area, a window on the second level, and I seen this black figure. It looked like it could have been a child. It was like, it wasn't that tall, so I'm assuming it was a child. It was black, and I only seen it for like 2 or 3 seconds. It freaked me out, and
And I have seen
I haven't.
This-
So it was like,
twice. I've seen this dark figure, and the sense that I get from it is that, and it's interesting. My perspective is, and my dad was the seventh son of a seventh son, and he was in tune to all kinds of stuff, and I believe that I've inherited some of that. Obviously, not the full gamut that he had, but I have on 2 occasions seen this dark mass figure. And the first time I saw it, it was late. I was going into my office, and it was sitting perched on top of the building, like crouched down,
Like
and
a
almost like a
gargoyle?
gargoyle, yeah.
Yeah.
And the
okay.
weird thing about
I've
it
heard people
was
talk about
is that it sensed that I saw it, and it bristled, like it bristled, like it could not believe that I saw it.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like these things creep around all the time, and very, very few people ever see them. And it was surprised that I saw it. Well, I saw it, so I jumped right back in my car, didn't go miles, I took off. That was the first time I saw it. And the second time I saw it was in a totally different location, and sort of the same experience. Is that it realized I saw it, and it withdrew, like it bristled, like it was like, oh, like I can't believe that someone actually saw me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was getting my hair cut in Upper Sandusky, and this stylist is doing this lady's hair next to me, and she's telling this lady, she was telling about this dark figure that she saw, and sort of the same thing, that it withdrew. And I said, hey, I'm not eavesdropping, but I am. But by the way, I've seen the exact same thing.
Wow.
But the thing is, she saw it in her house. I'm like, well, thank God I didn't see it in my house. 'cause
Did you
would
get
really-
that feeling then when you saw it, that you weren't supposed to see it, or was surprised that you saw it? Or
Nah, it just startled me.
She felt like it was rushing her out the door.
Yeah, I mean, they were on my back for like 10 minutes. I couldn't get all these energies off of me. They were just on me. But that night when we went back in, we ended up saying a prayer. And we still got good evidence, but I do wonder if we would have got even more if we went and said the
If
prayer.
you wouldn't have tried to cloak yourself in some sort of...
But
So-
the black shadow she had,
Oh,
that she
yeah.
had on her, we actually caught on our camera.
Yes,
So it kind of validated it.
the researcher. We have our researcher, and he went with us, and we were up in the dark room. we weren't getting no activity with none of our equipment. And I'm like, huh. And we had the Jacob's ladder running too. I'm like, well, let's just go. We're not getting anything. So, but when we were sitting on the couch, we did feel this cold breeze come between us, but that was the only thing. I said, well, let's just go. Nothing's setting off the equipment. Let's just go. We grab everything. We go to walk out, and I'm walking behind him. And I said, I do not like the feeling I'm getting right now. Feels like something's like right up on me. And at that time, she's calling me on the radio, Mandy, get down here. Where you at? You know, I'm like, we're coming down to you right now. And they had seen this black figure follow us. As soon as we walked out of the room, and we caught it on camera, it's pretty neat. And you can see it. You see this, it looked like
Looks like it comes up through
It's just
the
like
floor
a
and
black
just
circle.
follows
Well-
back behind him.
you can see the outlining of it. It's weird. It was really creepy. So that just validated I was feeling this thing up on me at the same time, you know.
So it sounds like to me, you guys have had wild success at actually capturing things on film. But then you watch some of these shows on TV and they don't capture anything. And I wonder if it's because TV shows are so produced
Correct.
and it's like trying to force an experience versus what you guys are doing is you're just going in,
Letting it
opening
happen.
yourself up,
Yeah.
letting it happen.
And we go
Yeah.
live too, so
And there are
people can
some times
watch
you
it.
don't get anything, so it's not every
Yeah.
single place
Yeah.
you go. You know?
So, what is the most haunted place that you've been to in Marion? Or in Marion County?
The old jail, wasn't it?
That old jail was pretty freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that old jail. Oh my God.
Now, is the jail
Doors slamming and
is the jail someplace you can just go into, or you gotta?
No.
You were the
The
first.
basement was a hair salon. We were the second team in
Wait
there.
a second.
And then the third floor, it's like a hospice office.
Okay.
So we were only like limited to a couple areas. But that was like the one place we got our most EVPs. We have a lot of good footage off the camera.
Now, is that someplace that people have experienced stuff and?
yes, the lady who owns the hair salon, she said stuff was going on, being moved, and just all kinds of weird things were going on.
We had a door slammed.
the door. I actually seen. Now I will say,
Scared us. I mean, oh my God.
I've seen orbs only a couple times. I believe it's an orb anyway. We were sitting in that hair salon talking about, what we're getting ready to do. It was actually the first place I'd done my spiritual writing. I'm like, I'm going to do it right here in this hair salon. The guys were setting up the cameras, and there's this big door right there outside of her salon. And now this is a heavy door that it catches. So you actually have to push it shut. It's not going to be a door that's just going to shut on its own. So we're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden I see this weird light just shoot right out the door. And it was literally seconds after that door slammed. And we're like, what the hell was that?
We all, man.
That lady said the whole time she's been there in like 7 years, that door has never done that before. But it did. It slammed shut.
Scared
We
us.
have a video of anomaly showers
Yes.
where the cells were.
Anomaly showers.
We call
It looks
that.
like it's raining, but it's like
Like-
anomalies just falling.
Just it looks sparkles.
And
Not
I mean,
dust, but like sparkles.
and dust when when you stir up the dust, you can tell the difference on the camera, and the dust kind of goes in all different directions and this was just, it was falling from the ceiling, and everybody is accounted for on the camera, so nobody's hit the ceiling, nobody has created anything to fall. And Brian was feeling goosebumps, like his hair was standing up. So Mandy had the temperature gauge, and there was a 10-degree difference on one side to the other on Brian. And just as she was doing that, you just see
It's just coming
the
down.
It
showers.
looks like a shower.
Looks like it's raining.
Pretty
It,
neat.
it was the old jail. It's not.
So what about Crawford
That's where I
County?
got scratched too.
Oh. Now, see, that's back to my whole thing is that, I mean, if something is trying to, look, there's a difference between someone who's trying to communicate to you versus something that's trying to cause you physical harm. And that's why Grover and I have elected to have these three be our viewers.
Yeah, because
You're like the Bosley of the Charlie's Angels.
Exactly.
yeah, because if anybody's gonna have physical harm,
And
put
Jason
to
is
them,
the
it
Farrah
must be-
Fawcett of
Right?
our-
I can tell.
I've got a poster of him above my bed at home.
In the red
In a sort of a burnt orange
flowing hair.
swimsuit.
So how many? Let's since we're in Bucyrus, let's tell them our first place we actually went to. I think it was that lady's house at.
The atheist
Yes.
Christian.
Yeah, that was.
And
the
you don't
first
have to give us
place.
obviously any names of the
Right.
people. They probably wouldn't appreciate.
But you
Or
can give
they
me
might.
the the addresses afterwards, and I will definitely.
Well, we
And,
did the salon, the saloon.
No, it's the
Crazy Fox.
Crazy Fox.
Right.
That was our second place.
If y'all can get in there, get in there.
Yes.
Yes.
You guys weren't just hanging out at the Crazy Fox and said, "Oh, this is a crazy place."
And let's have some spirits.
Yeah.
They
Especially
actually was
the
a
gentlemen,
picture
because
going
they don't
around.
like the guys.
There was a picture of a ghost boy they had captured there. Someone took a picture and they
They were
captured it.
remodeling the one of the apartments upstairs.
And then someone we work with is like, "Hey, you guys might want to look into,
Wait,
investigating."
so, wait. You went upstairs to the Weaver? And
Oh, we
investigated?
went.
We were in the
all over.
hallways. We were in the hallways.
We were in
up
one
there.
room though, and you and I were talking, and
Oh.
something on the EVP was like, "Can you be quiet?"
Yes, we got an EVP. So will you be
I'm like, "I
quiet?
don't talk that much, and when I do, I get reprimanded by an entity. That's really cool."
So the entity told you to be quiet.
Yeah, I was like, "Can you be quiet?"
But we've been there 3 times now to that place.
To the
And-
Crazy Fox?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. First time we went, they still had the bar going. So lesson learned. It was loud during our investigation. So we set it up to come another time when the bar was after the bar closed, and we got to investigate all over.
So did you go down in the basement where
Oh, yeah.
Al
That's-
Capone
yeah.
had the tunnels?
I done spiritual writing where Al Capone had actually sat, and if you watch the spiritual writing video, you will see my face is changing. It was so weird, and everyone's like, "Why is her face changing?" My
Like the
face
video on
literally-
her face was
just-
just going in and out
like
of
It was
focus,
freaky.
and- yeah.
I've had that happen more than once. It could just be the phone.
So any other personal residences in the Crawford
Yes.
County area that you've?
So the atheist Christian, so that was somebody that was renting the house
Yes.
and asked you to come and
She
check
knew
it out.
some of the history on it, but as soon as we got there, we were having experiences in there doing just the sweep with a
Yes.
couple pieces of equipment.
Okay, so I think maybe I misunderstood the story. The son was an atheist, the mother was a Christian, but neither one of them were.
They
The
were
mother was no
deceased.
longer there. Mother
They were
was,
both
oh,
They were
okay.
both deceased.
Okay,
And
the
they
mother
lived
was
the
like the
son-
mother was still there, and he was like,
No.
"Hey, look,
Right.
mom, take
No.
this."
The
But it's like
atheist
they
lived
did
in the
their-
basement.
Yeah, they continued
Okay.
their religious war after death.
Gotcha.
Oh, all right.
I'll tell you more of the story after we're off air, though.
Okay.
Um,
So any other personal residences in Crawford
Yes.
County?
Yes. We work with one, so we won't put their name out there. Her children had experiences in the house growing up there. She's like, "Well, if you girls want, you can come and investigate my house." And I'm like, "Okay." We found out how old the house was, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this would be awesome." So we ended up going, and no one's ever investigated the place, and we actually got some interesting, things. Another place, well, we were going to do the one where you guys had actually, how you found out about us. 'Cause
We weren't expecting it to.
we
turn
did
out
not
like
know
that.
this was going to happen. It turns out the lady's house that we investigated, her daughter is renting a house that is really haunted, because I know I've been there, and I had actually seen something in that kitchen. It was like a ball of light just shoot right towards the kitchen cabinets. Freaked us all out. They didn't see it, but I did. So that's why we posted the picture of this house, because she wanted us to come back and investigate. They had a lot of stuff going on.
I would love to be able to get them in Tim and
Yes.
Sharma's old house.
She had so much going on in this house, and I'm like, "Do I have permission to post this picture?" She's like, yeah. And, she found out what year the house was built, and I post this picture. Well, we didn't know it was going to blow up like it did. It turned out a lot of people had lived there and had experiences, so it went crazy, and that's when you contacted me. So
Yeah,
it
how
must
did
have.
you, how did you guys,
It was-
how
it
did
was
you
you.
find out about us?
Someone,
Somebody tagged me
Tagged him
in the post and said, "Hey, to check you guys out," and then
And see, that's the whole. When we started this podcast, that was the purpose behind our podcast. From the shadows, is that so many people experience things, whether it's a paranormal event or it's a cryptid event like a Bigfoot. Mine, when I was a teenager, was a dog man situation. Oh yeah, you have to listen to the story. Pretty terrifying, actually. But there's so many people that don't know that there's other like-minded or like-interested people out there. So we are trying to create a forum for which people to connect, some synergy. So that networking.
Well, it's what you found out about posting that picture is all those people that live there would have no connection to one another over the years, and then they had all these experiences. Man, they had an experience where we
Well,
did.
it's like
Maybe
that
I'm
house
not
that
crazy.
we went and investigated a couple weeks ago. There's a guy said he lived there 2 months and there's nothing there. But we got stuff when we was there. Like our researcher, he felt like a chest. What was he having? He was having
It
some
was
kind
a
of
shoulder.
Like he
shoulder
felt like a
or-
stabbing in his right here by his shoulder, and it was affecting him. He had to get out of that basement.
And so I was telling the judge what I found extremely odd is I think you and I were actually talking about you guys coming on when the owner of the house called you,
Yes.
and
I couldn't.
and he, I mean, if you want to just put it nicely, what he said.
Yeah, he threatened take the picture down, or he's going to sue.
Practically, he can't
Yeah.
sue because he's renting a place, and when you're renting a place, I mean, you're.
I don't know,
I
you're
could
a
weigh
lawyer.
in on
said
the
he
legal
didn't
on
want
it.
us coming
Something
there.
I won't do that.
I'm not a
He-
lawyer, but I know that much.
He said, "I do not want them devil worshippers bringing that into this house or something like that." And I was like, really blown away by it.
Which strikes us
You
as
know.
funny is if because you made it sound like he didn't believe in
Yeah, he
And-
was Christian. He didn't believe in it. Yeah.
which
But if you believe
If
in
in
the good, you have
Christianity-
to believe in the bad. It's
Exactly.
like we keep coming
Right.
back to
He,
this.
for some reason, I mean, he stormed over there to them because he lives like a few houses down, and he said, "This is absolutely not going to happen."
so begs the
We missed
question:
it.
what does he hide?
See,
That's
and
what we all
I'm
wondered.
speculating this. Now, this is just my speculation, but I'm wondering if something had happened previously, and maybe he had somebody come in, bless the house, or what they can find.
There was another paranormal group that had actually
yeah,
been
and
to
I
that
actually
house.
talked to the guy that did that investigation.
Yeah.
What did they find?
He said there was a lot of there was an old lady in the kitchen, which
Mm-hmm.
they had silverware moving, pots and pans moving.
They had a toothbrush go flying off the sink into the tub. I mean, she was really scared. The lady
and she's
living
got
there.
small children.
Yeah, she was really scared.
Now, see, like some people, landlords would be worried that if word got out this place was haunted,
No one's gonna
couldn't
rent it.
But it's the exact opposite. You
Right.
put on Airbnb,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
and you
want
could
to
rent
live
that
there.
for $300 a weekend, and people will come from all over. You know
He
what I mean?
doesn't realize he's sitting on a gold mine.
People
and
have
people
the
pay
such
to come.
the, negative
you know?
connotations about
Right.
this stuff when it's
Well,
really
there was a
not.
comment on that post: "Is this house for sale?"
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we had.
Why there's people like you that want to jump 2 feet into this stuff? I mean, I love hearing
That'd
about
be a
it.
perfect house for you to
But I don't
buy.
wanna
Maybe
actually
you've been
go
wanting to
do
buy
it.
one. You can do that.
So you were talking to us a little bit before we went on the air about you guys were just somewhere else here in Bucyrus, and a neighbor came out screaming at you.
Yes,
Yes.
it was actually it's an empty house. Go ahead and you guys want to tell. What
You
happened?
realize there's a lot of people on meth here. So. That
We're
could
from
have
Marion. We know all about that.
Well, yeah, because
Well,
the
a lot of
judge
people
the
kicking
judge is
around the
trying to
corner.
send the people from Crawford
Windows.
County to Marion County.
I was doing the spiritual writing inside the house, and these guys, we were waiting on them to arrive. So I went ahead and started. I hadn't even been into it a minute, and we had to stop because I heard all this commotion outside, and it was these guys
It
arriving.
was Brian and I went out, or we were getting our stuff, on our shoulders, getting ready to pull out, lock the doors, go walk up. And this woman crossed the street, and you guys are conjuring the devil, and
Okay, so what I'm envisioning is you guys are rolling up in the Ecto one or what? How does somebody
We
cross the
wish.
street? How does somebody?
Because, I post. I
because
like
they were blaring the music Ghostbusters.
when
Well,
we-
somebody was jamming their music trying to interrupt our investigation, but
Well,
didn't
what
stop
we
us.
do, we like to post pictures of the place we're going to investigate, and people seen that, and
Gotcha.
it must have got to the lady across the street, and it just went from there. So
If
they
she
knew
was
we
gone
were
time
coming.
I walked outside.
Well, in defense of them, and I don't know these people, and I don't know what they know, what they don't know.
We probably absolutely do know these people, but
But, there you go. but I have been told
okay.
by someone who's a Bible scholar that the Bible, there's parts of the Bible that warns against, hey, don't do this.
Correct.
Don't do this. And I think that it was, and I'm going to tell you, I might screw this up, so if anybody's listening out there, go ahead and tag us and tell me how I messed this up. But I think it's Paul or somebody had tried to speak to someone who had been dead, and he was warned, look, you don't do that. You know, the dead is the dead and the living is the living. You just don't do that. So there are probably people out there who are
Yeah.
fundamentalist, who would say, hey, listen, don't do this. This is really not what you're supposed to do. But then there's people out there who know nothing about the Bible who are just, you guys are a bunch of devil worshippers. And being respectful to those that are really strict constructionists in terms of the Bible. Hey, you really shouldn't be doing this.
So
I
did
don't know,
you?
maybe I'm putting you on the spot, but how do you answer those people if you get confronted that says, listen, the Bible says you should not be out here doing this?
We tell them that they're allowed to open their own opinions. Everybody has their own opinion.
My father was very religious.
Oh yeah. Lord.
He did not like us girls going and talking to any psychics or anything. He'd be like, those are, he would say things like, they're devil worshippers, and, And then when he passed, we have a friend who's a psychic medium. And, we'd go see her. Well, my father came through to her.
And he was in shock that she could see him.
He was very, and the things that she said, what he said, there was no way she knew that my father would say this because it was something he always said to us girls. So
And he was shocked. She said he could not believe she could see him.
yeah, so and now he comes through to her all the time if we go see.
Did he
So-
concede then and say, okay, you guys are right?
He would say things to her that no one, like I said, no one
But
would
he was
say.
a big Christian. He could speak in tongues. And our dad, and I'll tell you right now, this is how we know there's definitely a God out there. Because our father would never, ever, he used to
Step
sell
foot in
drugs. He's
church.
been in and out of prison. He would never tell us he loved us, tell us pray or do none of that. He went to prison for 7 years and he came out of that a Christian.
And
And
stuck with
he
it.
said
He
that he
actually
would
stuck
never,
with it.
it changed his life. He said he would never take that back. And that's when he started watching the Bible, preaching to us. You better get
Always.
right with God. You're going to go to hell. So
let me
that
ask
shows
you
us
this,
it's
and,
real.
And this is, I think this is a burning question. At least it is for me, and other people I've talked. This is a burning question. If you're able to communicate with someone who you say is passed over, okay, when I say passed over, that means they're not, say, haunting this particular spot. You ever ask them, is there a heaven? Is there a hell?
We never have.
I mean, that's the burning question that I would
I've
be
watched on
scared to ask.
Teresa Caputo's show where a guy told her,
No, I
a
mean
guy
in the
came
paranormal
through and told her,
Yeah, in paranormal.
told somebody that she was given a reading that heaven is real. He didn't believe it, that heaven is real.
Well, we actually caught an interesting EVP at the Rhodes Hotel, and this is what we call Classic A. And actually, okay, so the story behind the Rhodes Hotel in Indiana, there was a priest that had hung himself in the attic.
And back in the day, they would never hang themselves in their homes, so their loved ones wouldn't find them. They would go to hotels and do it.
Well, we were up there talking, and I had my intercom box going in the recorder. Well, the interesting thing was it came over, plain as day, Jesus is light, is what we caught, didn't we?
Mhm.
I mean, you heard this man, and it sounded like he didn't even come to the intercom box. It sounded like he
Came over the internet.
over it.
Yeah.
We know the difference when something's coming through the intercom box. You could hear it. It was loud and clear, and he said, Jesus is light. And that was really interesting.
It was neat,
Yeah.
but the questions were never asked there.
You don't
Yes.
specifically
Yeah.
say, listen, is there a heaven
No, we
or
didn't
is
even
there
say
a hell?
that.
Or is
We
there-
were trying to get him to interact more with us, so Chastity would read Bible verses, and we ended up capturing that. So
Yeah, that was Meg's idea. Read some Bibles.
Did I say that? I don't know what I was thinking.
Own it.
we
Own it.
It
actually.
must have been the priest coming through me because I would never tell you
So,
to read a Bible.
Speaking
You
of,
tell me to Google it.
apparitions,
Oh, you did.
we
Yeah, you
actually
said Google verses.
might have caught one. Okay, we still don't know yet. You want to go ahead and tell?
Just, it's there. They argue it isn't, I argue it is.
Are you talking about the big old
Yeah, no. We're talking about.
Well, tell us
the
now.
Rhodes
You guys
The
are
Rhodes
beat
Hotel.
around
Oh,
the
yeah,
bush.
yeah,
Rhodes Hotel.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Rhodes Hotel.
Rhodes Hotel. It's
Was
based
it-
on a brothel, right?
Used to be a brothel.
Used to be a
yes.
brothel house in Indiana. Well, the guy who lives there and owns it gave us a tour and told us, he didn't really have much to say on things that were going on, but he did say there was a lamp that would just turn on for no reason. He'd come home and it'd be on, and he had it off. And they had their own cameras too, so he was seeing it on his camera. Our tech guy, Brian, thought it'd be a good idea to set a camera up in this area where that was going on. Well, later on throughout the night, he decided that he was going to go around to this, what was it, like a bench on the side?
There was a bench, and then there was a seat in front of the bench. Well, the camera shows me perfectly. You can see my silhouette, you can see my hat, you can see my shoes, you can see all my clothes. I'm perfect. And I walk around and I sit down in that chair. They were all upstairs investigating.
No, Mandy was in the safe room. I was in the front sitting
Yeah.
room on the other side of.
But sometimes I'll go do that if I'm away from them. I'm still not seen. But I'll go sit by myself to see if I can pick up anything, and then I can tell the girls, hey, you really need to go sit over here for a while and see what happens. But I was sitting there, and I hadn't moved. All of a sudden, you'll see a shadow walk around from the front. Now, that shows me walking around the back, and I sit down, and a shadow walks around from the front side and comes towards my chair and then disappears.
What's curious about this
Looks
whole
headless.
thing is that this was Kevin, tech guy, his first investigation, and he's a hardcore skeptic. Hardcore. You cannot get this guy to believe anything. Tell him the sky's blue and he'll fight you till the end. So he's watching the video or the screen and he goes, who's in there? And I was like, nobody. He's like, nope, someone's in there. And so I was walking back to see who was back there, and Brian scares the crap out of me because he's like tucked away in this corner. And I was like, were you just there? He's like, no, I wasn't there. So even hardcore skeptic Kevin's like, I can't explain it, but
I also want to
We've had a lot
say
of people try to debunk it, saying it's
Yeah.
not
there
what
was
it
a
is, and it
wall
is.
right there. So I believe it couldn't have been him. He would have had to
Yeah.
come back this way and been seen
Around.
again because there was a wall right there where the bench was. He couldn't have, he'd had to climb over the wall there to go around.
And you're,
So
and you're
that's the
sitting in the
interesting
room
thing.
and don't
I'm
know
s-
anything.
I can't see it.
yeah.
No.
I'm sitting in the room and I can't see it, and they see it off the camera.
It's
I'm
pretty
actually
interesting.
still
We've had a
sitting there.
couple other investigators looking at it, trying to debunk it, saying it's not what it is, but we know that's what it is.
I feel that it is. Some of our team members.
I don't believe it's that. I believe it's either a delay in the camera at
Which it could be.
Brian or.
But I don't see
And
how
I'm
it
kinda
would.
like, eh.
So
even-
we've been up and down with
I
it.
don't know.
Which
Well, I think a great idea would be to post it
We did.
We did.
on our
She
medium
goes
and let
on
our
access
viewers
that
Yeah.
do a vote. What do
We
they?
did.
But we've tried debunking it.
so
But it actually
And even
shows
Mike
me real
Couch, who
well,
owns
but
the
it
place,
doesn't
was
show the
helping
shadow
us try to debunk it.
figure.
We also had bigger people who's been out in the field for 20 years looking at that video, and I won't say his name, but he's on TV. And
you
he
can go
was
ahead and say my name.
and he was scratching his head when the guy who owns the Rhodes Hotel had said, "Hey," because he's hanging out with that guy, and he's like, "Hey, I got something to show you." He showed it to him, and even he was scratching his head like,
Yeah, because nobody in there caught that but us. We're the first ones that caught that.
They've never, no one's ever witnessed it.
or caught
you
anything
know.
like that. We're the first ones.
And
But
it's
a lot of
still
things
up
you
in the air.
get within the paranormal community, and you all might know this, is that you have a lot of not backstabbing, but just like, well, they didn't catch that. We, and
Right.
just-
That's
we're,
kind of
we're
what
big
we're
on
here.
para
yeah.
unity.
Yeah.
Right.
And just be classy and civil to everybody. But we've had some backlash about.
But we also take a lot of time to try and debunk this.
Oh, we
before
tried.
even
Even with
post
the
it.
owner. He went out there and tried to help us debunk it, and he even couldn't
Yeah.
We
debunk
tried
He's
it.
pretty
probably for
big
an
in
hour trying
paranormal.
to debunk this.
Yeah, he was in
between
shock,
the owner,
too.
me,
Yeah.
and Kevin.
If we get something big like that, and going back to the school where we caught the dark shadow, they tried to debunk it too. So we will immediately try to debunk something big like that, even a door slamming or an apparition or shadow figure. We try to immediately debunk it, and if we can't,
Yeah, we don't try to post stuff.
we don't want
try
to say
get-
everything we do is paranormal. You can't say everything's paranormal, so that's why it's a good thing that she's really kind of skeptical.
So-
she'll really try to debunk things.
So for our listeners out there, if they wanted you to come to their home, do a reading, check it out, how would they get a hold of you?
Facebook.
Message us on Facebook. We're also on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram.
And Snapchat.
So all of our listeners out there, if you want to be visited by the Ghost Sisters, reach out to them. If any of you want to be reached out from Jerry,
Yeah. So now
Good luck.
so we want to give our listeners then something we were talking about. You guys are going to branch out a little bit beyond
Yes.
the paranormal, so to speak. And what are you guys going to start going out and investigating?
We are going to still do paranormal, but we are going to be doing like legends and myths, you know.
folklore.
Get
Yes,
into the
the whole- yeah.
cryptozoology type.
Yes,
kind of thing.
yes.
Now you're into our wheelhouse.
Yes, Bigfoot, you know. As it turns out, our tech guy here has actually had an experience, and he's really into the Bigfoot.
So tell us about your experience.
Yeah, let's hear this.
I guess it's back in 1983. We was traveling down an old back road, doing stuff we probably wasn't supposed to be doing, but you know.
Now, were you here in Ohio?
We were
You want to narrow it down to where?
right outside of Prospect.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
There is a
1983 has
graveyard.
a-
In fact, I'll just go ahead. There's a graveyard that sits on Prospect Upper Sandusky Road.
Okay.
the statute of limitations has probably run on whatever crime you committed. So you're
That's a good thing. we never really got in trouble. We just.
You mean
if
you
I
never
would've
got
been
caught? You never got
Dad
Dad
caught.
was in law
Usually-
enforcement.
It was never with the drugs or anything. It was usually with alcohol. We were just driving the back road, doing things we weren't supposed to be doing.
it's only a misdemeanor.
And his dad was patrolling the streets at the time.
Yes. Okay.
So,
I'm going
so
like
tell us
that
about
one.
the story. Tell us about the story.
But we were coming north on Prospect Upper Sandusky Road. Now, granted, the road, it was dark, but about 200 yards in front of us, I had my brother with me and another buddy, which was Dan Jackson. And we saw something crouched in the road. So I stopped. What the heck is that? So we started pulling closer to it, and it stood up. I said, okay. Now, I ain't never told nobody this except for a handful of people.
Which is actually very commonplace.
Yeah.
And I still don't know if I believe what I saw then, now.
So describe what you saw.
But it stood up above the truck. Now, my truck was a old Ford F-150, four-wheel drive, 44s on it.
Oh,
So it sat way up in the air. It was
Mhm.
taller than the truck. It took off.
did you have Yosemite Sam mud flaps on that truck?
I did.
I knew it! I knew it! Nobody has 44s without them mud flaps. Guilty.
It took off. Now, granted, back in the 80s, there was a gate fence, an old iron gate fence that surrounded the cemetery. It stepped over the fence.
Oh, wow.
We watched it and disappeared in the graveyard. Well, my brother was crying because I'd done mashed the gas. I'm heading towards it, and I slid sideways into the graveyard, and I'm trying to get my lights adjusted where I can see it where it went. It just disappeared. Couldn't find it.
Was it when you saw it? Was it like, could you see whether it was covered in hair?
It was covered in hair.
Wasn't wearing any clothes,
No.
anything like that.
I couldn't pick out the facial feature, but I could pick out the chrome head. Had a very short, like a flat top head. Very big, muscular.
How tall you think it would have been? Because how tall your truck would have been? My gosh.
I'm saying it was 8 foot, 8 foot plus. That's what I'm saying. But to this day, I
So what's
wanted to actually see it up close. That's
so what's
what
the
I wanted.
surroundings of the cemetery? Is there a place for it to run off into, or?
When it went into the cemetery, now the cemetery's, it's not wide, but it's real long, going
Okay.
in both directions. And I actually happened to pull into the middle of it. Well, off to the right of it is probably a 40-acre woods. And it shot into the cemetery instead of going into the woods. But on the other side of the cemetery, there's a river. Now, if it got down onto the riverbank and ran the riverbank, we would have never seen it. Because they are very intelligent. from the research that I've done over the years from them.
Well, and I think somebody, I think on TV even, I think they saw that Ohio, because of the amount of rivers and woods, you can go from Lake Erie to Cincinnati
not
and
be
never
seen.
see a single person. If as long as you stuck by the rivers and the woods, so you could traverse the entire state of Ohio and no one would see you. And then throw in the fact cornfields and things like that during seasonally.
Now, did you hear anything, or did you? Or...
Yeah, I heard my brother crying the whole time. And that's the truth. He had actually gone down underneath the floor well in the fender where the dashboard is, and he's hunkering down in there. I said, "What are you doing?" And Dan's looking at him. He goes, "Did you see what I just saw?" And I said, "I think so. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say it is, but I know that's what I saw. I know it is."
mean,
But I always
and-
thought I'd be, put into the category as you're crazy.
Well, see, that's when I was about 15 and a half, probably 16, close to that. I had an experience with a dog man. And it was, long story short, I won't retell it because for our listeners who've listened to the podcast, I was out running at night. I was training for a 10K, the
Well,
Bratwurst Festival.
that's the most unbelievable part
Right.
at this point. Is that he was
Training.
I was a college runner for
He was
God's sakes. But so there was corn on one side, beans on the other, and I had ran 2.5 miles down the road, country road here in Crawford County. I was coming back, and it's dark. I mean, there's not a full moon out or anything like that, but it's light enough you could see. It's about 10:30 at night, and I heard something in the corn on my way back, and so I stopped, like, whoa, what's in there? And whatever was in there, it stopped. It got perfectly still. And I'm thinking, okay, it's probably a deer, So I take off running, and when I took off running, what is ever in the corn is about 3 to 4 rows in. It kept pace with me, like perfect pace. Like it didn't get behind me, didn't get in front of me. It stayed perfect pace with me. And so several times I stopped, and it would stop. And then I would speed up and go really fast as I could to try to shake it, and I couldn't. It'd stay right with me. And I was going to climb a tree, and the tree had been dehorned, and there was no way to get up. And long story short is that, the road dead ended into State Route 4 going north, and there's, it's summer, there's lake traffic, something. I've got to cross this road without getting hit. And as I was crossing the road and I looked back, what I saw come out of the corn was about 6 foot tall, because the corn was about 6 foot tall at that time, about 6 foot tall. And the only way I could describe it was it looked just like the Egyptian god Anubis. That's what it looked like. I mean, exactly.
Okay.
And obviously I didn't get a real long look at it because I looked, saw it, and sprinted. And from that day forward, I didn't tell people. I mean, I told people something was important.
So this was like the summer when we were in high school, and he told us the story the next night, except for the fact, because we're like, well, did you see anything? No, I didn't see anything.
Because if I would have told those
They would've
guys,
said you were crazy.
they would have.
Even though we were like
And
all
bashed
into
you
that
for
stuff,
years.
they would have ridiculed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
only part like maybe if he had told me on the side,
Right.
I'm like, okay. But there's friends of ours that have been like, whatever.
we had guys that would have they would have roasted me. Kind of like how we ridiculously roast Jerry on tackling Bigfoot.
No, we roast him a lot worse.
I don't know.
Okay,
But
well-
you have no idea. But the point was, when I saw that, I didn't tell people for that reason.
And you had you had
Yeah.
I had two
witnesses
me.
with you, and you guys.
We never talked about it.
Did you talk about it each other?
With each other, we did. We actually set up observation places that we was actually going to, and we had night vision.
Oh, you went full
goggles.
military grade.
Yeah, we had it all. Well, I got them from my dad. He was in
Yeah,
service, and he brought them home, so I used them.
So you were out there trying to
And
see
we were
if you.
trying to see if, okay, is this what we saw? If we was trying to capture it. We sat in a silo.
I took the exact opposite approach and never ran down that road again.
Maybe we should go to
That's
that
always
day.
been me. I'm gonna run towards it. I want to see. Okay. did
If
I
you
see
saw what I saw, you
saw?
went and ran towards it.
I don't know about that.
Well, because keep in mind when I saw that, there was no frame of reference for me, so I didn't look at that and think, "Ooh, it's a werewolf." Okay, because we grew up with Lon Chaney as the werewolf, where it had the flat face and still had
Right.
the pants onto the shirt.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
A
So-
debonair sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
monk.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So what I saw, like I said, the only frame of reference that I had as a high school kid was Egyptian god Anubis. And I sure as hell wasn't going to tell anybody, hey, I saw the Egyptian god Anubis.
Well, half the guys wouldn't have known it.
They wouldn't have got it.
Right.
But
You gotta
there
go look in
wasn't-
the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah,
and we'll see.
exactly. That's what you'd have done. But there was no internet. There wasn't books out there, and it wasn't till many years later, when I saw the Beast of Bray Road and started looking stuff like, oh my gosh. And I got one of Linda Godfrey's books, who's an expert on the Dog Man, and I'm reading through it, and this guy's accounting says it looked just like the Egyptian god Anubis. And when I read that in that book, I'm like, oh my gosh, he saw exactly what I saw. Exactly what I saw.
So you guys were never able to.
Never able to find it again, or we looked for tracks. The next day we was down on the riverbank, scouring the riverbank, because it's muddy next to the riverbank. It always is. Looking for tracks, nothing.
Well,
It's
here's
like it
the
just
point
totally
to draw from
disappeared.
this, is that that's why we formed what we formed. And the
That's-
platform of From the Shadows podcast is a platform that people can say things that they've witnessed and not have to fear from their peers or other people that we're crazy or anything like that. No. If you've experienced it, we have a group of people we're going to take you seriously. And the more people that are involved with our operation, some people may need some help. So we may have people in our group that can actually help you.
Yeah. And I think
Okay.
that's why you guys formed what you guys formed, because you want more answers and you want to help
Yes,
people. And,
So here's something that would be interesting. We plan on going to Athens because when me and my husband were in Athens for our anniversary back in October, we had an experience. I believe it was Bigfoot or paranormal, but I don't know if you guys
what are
heard
you
of
guys
Pope
doing for your
Ernest?
anniversary? Going hanging out?
Well, I was in Athens and I'm like, okay, we are going to go to the Moonville Tunnel and hit these haunted places. So that's what we did. We went to Moonville Tunnel and went to there
and one of the reasons why I think that about half the population will not take you serious is the name itself. Bigfoot just sounds cartoonish. I mean, Sasquatch sounds a little more something on the genome,
Right.
but I think that for people to take people serious is you have to try to say, if we scientifically try to categorize something, I think it would lend more credibility. Just the name just sounds cartoonish. Now you talk about going to Athens. Elisa, who is our Bigfoot, I just said that name, expert, has actually seen Sasquatch.
Heard it. And
She has a friend. We can't give you the location because she's sworn to death that she won't give this up. But she could tell you, we probably won't, because we've already done a podcast on this. We won't go in deep, but she can tell you afterwards that she has a friend who has a farm out in the woods in southern Ohio, and he
that
puts
has Bigfoot on his property. He's been actually getting closer to his cabin because he goes out and he has an offering area that we take food out to them all the time. And now they've been getting close. Actually, the other night, he heard them walking on his back deck. I mean, I've seen them. They're not there to do any harm. I kind of have like a special connection with them, but he's noticed that when I'm there too, they come out and I can hear them walking. Like when I'm talking to them, you can hear them walking in the woods.
And Lisa, you want to tell them about that you actually what you saw?
I've seen it twice on different occasions. First night, we was coming back from the Mothman Festival, and it was like trees and bushes, and we turned a corner and the light hit something, and it was like a reddish brown, and my friend looked at me and was like, "What's wrong?" Because my face was pale. I'm like, I think I seen something, but I don't want to jump to conclusions because a lot of trees, a lot of bushes. So the next day we walked around the corner from his house, and what was there wasn't there. You could see what it was. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. And then I was taken out. We made breakfast, and we had leftovers. And anytime we had leftovers, I like to go to the offering area, and it was just me. And when I go out, I like to talk to the woods, let them know I'm not there for any harm. And I looked up, and I seen this reddish brownish figure step behind a tree. I seen its shoulder and its chest. It was about 8.5 feet tall. I mean, I didn't feel no like it was gonna hurt me. It would just let me know, hey, I'm
Mhm.
here. And I've seen a little one too.
Now you didn't
There.
get down and start bawling
No.
like his brother.
We just looked at each other for a good solid.
Did you smell
minute.
anything?
No,
Huh.
but I've
She's
heard
used
that
to
too.
Jerry though. She's used to Jerry.
I've heard
So-
about the
Her olfactory
scent too.
nervous
Well-
system shut down.
When we were at the Hope Furnace place there in Athens, my husband decided, well, let's hit this trail. So we start going up this trail. Now, it was probably about 6 o'clock. It was starting to get dark. I'm like, okay, I don't want to be out long. I don't want to, I just wasn't feeling it. And so we're walking. He's behind me, and he likes to play jokes. Well, I get ahead of him. I look back, and he's hiding behind a tree. And I'm like, what are you doing? Come on, Well, then I keep walking, and I had the feeling he'd stopped again. So I turn around and look. And I look at him, and he's looking off into this area. And I said, did you see something? I'm like, what do you see? He's like, no, nothing. I'm like, seriously, did you see something? He goes, well, I thought I seen these leaves move. Something moving in the leaves. And I'm like, huh, all right, whatever. So we continue on. And we get to this rock. It was like a rock. It looked like a cave. It was like a hangover. We go there, and we're looking around, and decide, hey, we're going to go a little further. So we cross a bridge where there was a river, and we come to this spot, and we decide, okay, are we going to go straight or are we going to turn? And I said, let's go this way. We began to take 2-3 steps to go straight, and then out of nowhere, something from above threw something, and it hit this tree that was up ahead of us. It was so loud, and it like cracked, and I seen little pieces just breaking off and go over towards the river. And we both just stopped like, oh my God, like what the hell was that, And he looks at me, and I look at him. He goes, let's get the hell out of here.
I've had something like that happen
Yeah.
to me this year
And
on
he
my
runs.
birthday. We went to Sims Creek by my friend's house, and there's been Bigfoot seen there. Actually, I heard it. And my friend was doing tree knocks, and we were sitting by the bridge where my friend seen one walk across. And all of a sudden, we heard this big, giant splash in the water. Because we heard frogs all night. I'm like, that was not a frog. That was not... So I went across the bridge, and I didn't see anything, but I could see where the water was, where something stepped in and out through. So I was trying to figure out most of the night what made that sound, but we didn't see anything. But then me and my mom heard something. I think it was talking. We saw what happened at, and I'm like, this is getting a little creepy.
So I can totally see why you guys want to start going and investigating Bigfoot.
Well,
Because
This
this all
sounds even
sounds-
more dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, the weird thing
No,
is,
it's fine.
this was like right as soon as we said
Yeah,
we're going to
that's
go
scary.
straight. It,
That's when it happened.
boom. I
Like something understood
did
that
not
you...
want us going that way.
Going
That's
straight.
usually it means.
Scared us so bad, you guys, that
believe it.
we went back to the cottage we were staying at. We were so terrified because we didn't know if this could have been paranormal or
Something.
Sasquatch or what. I kept saying it was Sasquatch. I kept telling him. I smelled skunk weed too.
That's the common thing with
I
them.
said I kept smelling skunk at the Moonville Tunnel,
Mhm.
and this is all by there, the Hope Furnace.
There's
all
been
those.
sightings in the Moonville Tunnel of them.
I was
seen
smelling
there.
it there, and yeah, it was just a weird.
It scared you
creepy
so bad
vibe.
you want to put us in harm's way and take us down there and look.
Well, that's what family...
Yeah, so
family
I'm
is,
telling
for
you,
sure.
the next day we debated on going back and see if we could find any footprints. Okay, we were really, really scared, but we went back and we were like, okay, there's people here, so we didn't feel as uncomfortable. So we go and we look in, and we still could not find what the cause was that hit that tree. We don't know.
There's probably another tree or most or a rock.
Didn't find no prints, but my husband being a skeptic, oh, it was probably another tree that fell and hit. I'm like, okay, well, where's the tree at that hit this big tree? I seen that thing shake. When it hit that tree, I seen it.
So if you're going to branch out into a whole new area, are you going to keep the name Ghost Sisters? Or are you going to come up with a...
Oh, we're staying Ghost Sisters. That's still
Ghost
my-
Sisters
Ghost
and
Sis-
Sasquatch Brothers.
Oh, God.
I think we'll keep it as Ghost Sisters, but
We'll always be investigating.
We're gonna
spirits
be-
either way, always.
just branching off to different
But the crypto
areas.
arm of your should be the Squatch.
Look, it is hard enough for them to come up with the name of.
Yeah.
It was hard enough for them to come up with the name Ghost Sisters. I mean, you want another name?
Well, we would. I think we're almost 2 hours in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So
Time
we'd
is
love to
flying.
have you back on sometime when you go out and you do some squatching or some other crypto things, and love for you to come back on and tell us what you found. And
And if you guys are in the area and you need some helping hands, there's some people over here that would probably love
I would love
to
to.
come and help.
Absolutely.
You know, and if you're going to go out looking for Bigfoot or whatever else, I'm sure
we have a guy that says for sure he can tackle Bigfoot. So
Maybe a little foot, but I don't know about Bigfoot right now.
I don't know. My money's on Jerry being able to tackle Sasquatch.
So before we wrap up, give everybody again how to get a hold of you guys, specifically, especially for the, if they have some spirits or something at their house that they want you guys to come and try to help them out with. How do they find
Facebook,
Instagram.
Twitter.
Snapchat.
Snapchat.
Snapchat? And it's all under the Ghost Sisters
Yes.
moniker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And we have a
Okay.
YouTube page.
And a YouTube page.
That's not very active right
We're
now.
trying to work.
We're trying to get
Yes.
it.
Well, that's the common theme for people trying to.
In our infancy stage
Yeah,
of trying to
when you're
grow.
Our
our
Facebook's like
Like,
blown up out
yeah,
of
we have-
nowhere, so that's our best bet
Yeah.
to find.
So if
some
you want to
Facebook.
send all your Facebook people over
Yeah.
to come check us out, that'd be great.
Sure, we can push
Yeah,
you
we'll
guys.
push your link.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks
So,
again, and
yes.
happy hunting.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
And be safe.
Thanks
Yes,
for having
thank
us.
you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
Rob.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, a final word. Please visit us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/From the Shadows Podcast, and on our Instagram page at instagram.com/From the Shadows Podcast. You can visit our webpage at FromTheShadowsPodcast.GoDaddySites.com, or contribute to our Facebook discussion page called After the Shadows, and tweet us on our Twitter feed at twitter.com/podcast_from. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you all. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.